Hi, and welcome to Blockchain Ask Me Anything session by Altcoin Investing News. I am Shinam Arora, and your questions will be answered by Rohas Nagpal, Chief Blockchain Architect of the Future Money Wallet. We have shortlisted 21 questions for today's session. Hi, Rohas.
Hi, Shinam. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So we have the question number 1. What is Ethereum gas?
Okay. So each Ethereum transaction needs computational resources for executing it because we know it's a smart contract platform. And that is why every transaction needs a fee, and that fee is called gas. Now, gas is denoted in what we call as GWEI, which is 10 to the power minus 9 ETH. Now, this gas fee goes to the miners to secure the network. It also prevents spamming of the network by so many transactions. Plus, to prevent the computational wastage in a code, suppose there's a mistake or someone deliberately makes a malfunction in the code which leads to an infinite loop. To prevent this kind of a situation, whenever we make transactions, we put a limit on the computational steps that code execution must take. And that is the importance and the need that gas is there. Now, any unused gas, so suppose you bid a certain higher amount and that much is not consumed in the transaction, that gas would be returned to you. Let me give you a very simple example. Suppose there's a transaction in which you put a gas limit of 21,000 units. And the gas price at that time happens to be 200 GWEI. So the total gas fee will be the number of gas units, which is 21,000, multiplied by the gas price per unit, which is 200 in this case, and the result would be 4.2 million GWEI or 0.0042 ETH. That's how the concept of Ethereum gas works.
Very interesting. So question number 2 would be, is Bitcoin fees optional or compulsory?
That's an interesting question. Bitcoin fees is optional and most people don't know this. But remember, whether your transaction will get included in a block is also optional. So a miner is going to decide what are the transactions that are going into the block that he is mining. Now, due to the block size limit, there are many times when the number of transactions is too much and it cannot fit into a block. So naturally now the miner will prioritize the transactions based on those with the highest fee. Plus, a miner can choose to ignore transactions where the base fee or the fee that you've quoted is below a threshold limit. So, although it is optional, you always have to pay that fee, otherwise your transaction may never go through.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So, Rohas, question number 3 would be, how to choose which crypto to invest in?
Okay.
I think that's a very important question nowadays.
Yeah, it is definitely. So I would say if you were just to consider two factors, it would be the use case and the liquidity. The use case would mean what is that crypto supposed to do? And that has to make some sense to you. Like it should not be a coin which seems to serve no purpose. If you think the use case is strong, the second thing look at is the liquidity, which means is it easy for you to buy and sell? Because what if you're unable to sell the crypto? So you buy it, the rate goes up, but you can't sell it. You buy it, the rate goes down, and you're still not able to sell it, you end up losing a huge amount. So I would say the top two things to look at is the use case and the liquidity.
Interesting one, another one. Next question is also very interesting. Question number 4 would be, why is there a price difference in various crypto platforms? And which platform would you recommend for buying crypto?
Sure. Now the price difference usually comes because of three things. One is the trading pairs. I'm going to explain all three. Trading pairs, the demand and supply, and the liquidity. So now when we talk about trading pairs, so suppose you are living in India and the local currency is INR. You go to a shop to buy something. The person there is going to quote you the price in INR. So suppose you are buying a packet of biscuits, it would be one packet biscuit, so many INR. In the US, one packet biscuit, so many US dollars. Yeah. Similarly, every crypto also comes in trading pairs. So sometimes when you're looking at a rate, you may be looking at it in the pair of USD, but when you're placing an order, you may be in another country like India and you end up paying in through INR, which then gets converted to USD. So all those extra costs also come into the picture. Then sometimes there may be only a Bitcoin pair available. So that means your INR or whatever currency will first get converted to Bitcoin, then get converted to that currency. Again, because of that, the rates could change. Secondly, the rates are all about demand and supply. Yeah. So maybe on a certain platform at that time there's more demand, on another one there may be more supply, so rates may be different. And third, of course, would be liquidity. Now, if you talk about which platform you should use, I would strongly recommend stick to a domestic platform which takes or has pairs in your local currency. In that situation, you will stand to lose the least. But of course, if certain cryptos are not available in that local currency, then you have no choice but to use international exchanges. There, I would say Binance would probably be one of the best.
Okay, so that's what you would recommend.
I say it's one of the good ones. I mean, it's very difficult to recommend, but yeah, Binance is doing pretty well. And
Okay,
of course, so is Coinbase.
great. Question number 5 would be, where can I buy elongate from?
Sure. So as of right now, I'm aware of 3 places you could buy this. So one, you could go to PancakeSwap. There they have a trading pair with the wrapped BNB coins. Bitmart has it with the USDT, US dollar Tether stablecoin, and Dcoin also has a trading pair for elongate with the USDT. So there are 3 places I'm aware of.
Okay. So next question that we've received, question number 6 is, which are the top 5 altcoins for the long term?
Sure. So if I'm not giving reasons for it, because that'll take a really long time, I would say ADA,
Okay.
DOT, Matic, Theta, and BAT. These would be my 5 picks. I'm not giving them in any order. This is just a random order, but these are my top 5 favorites as of right now. But remember, this is not legal advice. This is not investment advice. This is not financial advice. These simply happen to be my favorite projects.
I'm going to invest in these 5.
Okay.
Question number 7 is that we've received is, why is crypto market so volatile?
I would say the main reason would be that it's a new and a very immature market. And when I say immature, I'm not trying to ridicule it, but what I'm trying to say is, you look at the stock market, look at gold markets. These have been around for a very, very long time. Yeah. Crypto markets are fairly new, so it's going to take a lot of time before they actually mature. Secondly, they're very small. So even at a trillion half, it's still a small industry compared to so many other financial markets. Then the third reason would be that it is very dependent upon social media, especially Elon Musk. So naturally, depending upon his mood of the day, he would say something, he would just post an emoji, and suddenly so many people decide to buy and sell based on that. So that is another reason that makes it so volatile. Then it is very, very sentiment driven. So it is not so much, people don't look at the use case or the fundamentals of the crypto. They're primarily buying and selling on sentiment. And these are some of the reasons why it's so volatile.
Interesting. So in my earlier question, I've already asked you about top 5 altcoins as per your recommendation, but I would want to ask, which is your favorite altcoin and why?
Sure. My favorite would be BAT, the basic attention token. The reason is very simple. I'm a content creator, and human attention is something which is very important to all content creators as well as advertisers. And BAT actually looks into that and solves this problem to a very great extent. And it's also been created by someone really brilliant, the founder of JavaScript, the founder of Firefox. He's the guy who's built BAT. So I like it because it solves this issue of monetizing human attention. And as a content creator, I think it's an awesome project.
Great. So question number 9 is, should I have separate wallets for keeping different cryptos?
Now, this would depend upon how much crypto you're holding and for how long you want to hold it. So if it's going to be a long-term hold, nothing beats paper. You could actually note down all the relevant private keys on paper and keep that locked in a drawer. That's probably the best way to go. But if you're doing short-term stuff, then it's better to just keep it in an exchange so that you can instantly buy and sell. So it depends actually on how long you want to hold this and how much money is involved. So if it's a small amount of crypto, there's no point wasting time on advanced wallets. You could just keep it in your exchange.
Great. Next question number 10 that we've received is there any chance to recover crypto lost in a scam? Yeah, this question I also get a lot of times.
Well, 99.99% no. I'm sorry to say that, but very little chance. Although you must still file a complaint with the local police, because suppose they do catch the scammer in the future, you may get your money back. But it's a 0.01% chance.
Okay, I'll do that. So question number 11 that we've received is, what is AAVE? It's AAVE. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly.
Sure. So AAVE is actually 2 different things. One is it is a decentralized financial protocol, and second is it's also a crypto token. Now, as a protocol, it enables the lending and borrowing of crypto. So what you could do is, if you are a lender, you would then deposit your digital assets, which are deposited into liquidity pools. A borrower would come, put up some of his own crypto as a collateral, and then take a flash loan using the liquidity pools. So the borrower then gets paid the interest. Then AAVE is also a token which gives the holders a right to vote on the progress of future decisions of that project. So it's also a governance token.
That's very, very interesting and informative. Question number 12 is how to trade in Uniswap.
Sure. So now again, Uniswap is again two things. So one is it is a token, and the second, it is an open source protocol for creating liquidity and trading, but only of ERC20 tokens, so on Ethereum. So it eliminates the need for a trusted intermediary. Anybody could go and create liquidity through liquidity pools, and somebody else could come and quickly swap from one token to another token using these liquidity pools. And this is completely automated. And of course, then we also have the Uniswap token, which you could use for governance of the project. But yeah, it's a very interesting way to swap. But please remember, it's only for Ethereum tokens.
Okay. So question number 13 that we've received is, what is a decentralized autonomous organization?
Sure. So a DAO, or a decentralized autonomous organization, it's an organization which is represented by rules in a computer program. So not really human beings, but the rules of a computer program. So it must be transparent. It must be controlled by the organizational members. And third, it should not be influenced by a central government or an organization like that. So in fact, now very interestingly, the Wyoming state in the US is coming out with a new law under which a DAO can be automatically registered as an LLC company.
Great. Okay. So next question number 14 is, what is the present taxation framework for crypto in India?
Again, I'm not giving you investment or taxation advice. I'm not qualified to do that. You should ask a CA. But primarily, if you're holding it for the short run, it would come under regular tax, income tax. Longer run, it may come under capital gains tax. But there has been no clarification. It's just guesswork. This is what everyone presumes.
It's a gray area, I would say.
Yeah, and you're the best person to advise you would be your chartered accountant.
Okay. Question number 15 would be, what is the legal framework for asset tokenization in case of fungible goods?
Well, that would depend upon what fungible goods you're talking about. Is it agricultural products? Are they metals like gold, silver, platinum, or copper? Are you talking about debt instruments? Are you talking about equity instruments? Are you talking about derivatives? So it would actually change depending upon that. There wouldn't be one straight rule for it. It would depend upon the underlying asset.
Question number 16 is, can you give an overview on the DeFi apps upcoming on Ethereum and how they will disrupt the financial ecosystem?
Sure. So there are 5 kinds of apps which I think are doing magic today. One is the layer 2 apps. Second would be what relates to swapping, like a Uniswap or PancakeSwap. Third would be those for yield farming. Fourth would be those which are giving you on-chain exposure to a tokenized or a synthetic version of a physical asset. So like copper could be put onto the blockchain. So apps which are working in that direction. And finally, I would say NFTs. These are the 5 areas where I see a lot of very nice developments happening.
Okay. Question number 17 is, how are cryptos valued in dollars? Any underlying basis or formula for that?
No, it's purely one, demand and supply, and second, influencers like Elon Musk. That's the only thing which seems to be driving crypto valuations as of now.
Okay, the question number 18 is, I think everybody wants to know, when will Indian banks and economy be open for crypto investments?
Short answer, never. If you want a slightly longer answer, I'll give you the reasons behind it, whether you want to believe this or not. But in the conventional crypto world of today, there is no concept of KYC. Some exchanges may do it, but at the end of the day, on the blockchain level, there's no KYC or know your customer. There is no process for anti-money laundering checks. There is no process for countering the financing of terrorism. There are tons of scams and rug pulls. So I think we're not really going to see the government of India or the banks really opening up for crypto investments ever.
Okay. Sad news, but okay, let's see. Question number 19.
No, actually, I'd just like to add one thing there. So while they may not open up for the conventional cryptos, there are options like open blockchain tokens which come in. So if you're a blockchain startup looking to raise funding, get in touch with me and I'll explain to you how you could use open blockchain tokens which are legally recognized under the US law. And that would be a much better option to the conventional cryptos.
Okay. So I'll come to the next question. It's question number 19. Can you please explain about EVM?
Sure. So when we talk about the Ethereum virtual machine or EVM, now that is like you can say the single entity that is maintained by all the connected computers in the world which are running the Ethereum client. So you
Okay.
can say EVM is this environment in which all the Ethereum accounts and smart contracts are living. I know these words don't make sense that accounts are living, but
Mm,
try to imagine that all these smart contracts and all these accounts with the balances, where are they existing? That environment we
mm,
could call as an entity, and EVM is what maintains it. Now, Ethereum runs on blocks like every blockchain.
mm,
So at every block level, there is only one genuine or canonical state. And the rules for moving from one block to the other is what is done by the Ethereum protocol. So
mm.
the sole purpose of the Ethereum protocol is to keep this operation running continuously and immutably. So that's what the EVM does. It's the entity which maintains all this.
Mm. Okay. So last second question, question number 20th is, how can one do due diligence on crypto projects for investment purposes?
Sure. So you could follow the Rohas methodology. That's ROHAS. R for the revenue model and the economic impact. So what is this crypto going to do? What is the kind of economic impact it could have? What kind of a billion or 10 billion or 100 billion or trillion dollar problem is it going to solve? Second would be the organization. So who is the team behind it? What is their credibility? What is their history? What all have they done in the past? Third would be the H, which is the history of the performance of that crypto and the history of its liquidity.
Mm,
Then the A would be, the fourth point would be the algorithm of the source code. So you could go check it out on GitHub, how many stars, forks, pulls, commits are there, what kind of programmers are actually maintaining it. And finally, the S would be the social parameters. What kind of social following does it have? Does it have a bunch of fanatics behind it? Those kind of things. And finally, never forget the maximum supply. There are some cryptos which have a limited max supply, like Bitcoin at 21 million. There are
mm.
some like Ethereum which have unlimited max supply. That's a very important factor to consider when you're valuing a crypto.
Okay. So last question for today's session is, what is DeFi and how does it interplay with cryptos?
Sure. So now DeFi is like it's an umbrella term, right? So it represents all kinds of financial applications which are powered by a public blockchain.
Mm,
Now, why do you need crypto in this? So we need crypto. One is to secure and validate all the transactions.
mm,
Second is it may be used as a gas or the fuel, for example, Ethereum, ETH. It
mm.
could be used for governance, for example, the UniSwap token, and it could also be used as a medium of exchange. An example would be Litecoin. And that is why cryptos are an essential component of the conventional public blockchain. And that's why they become so important for DeFi.
Interesting. Thank you so much for answering all our questions. But what if somebody wants to, have some more questions, probably was not able to answer, put in a question during this session? How can they contact you?
Sure. So this video will be posted across on all the social media platforms. Below that, you can always comment and we'll take that up in the next session.
So in
Thank you
case
so
you
much.
guys have any more questions, feel free to post it. We will take those questions up in the next session. Thank you, Rohas.
Thanks. Bye.